You are counting your calories, you are working out, and you are doing everything the internet told you to do. And the scale is not moving. Or maybe it moved a little and then it all came back. And now you're wondering if something is genuinely wrong with you. Well, I want to start today by telling you something I wish somebody had told me years ago. And that is that it's probably not your fault. And it almost definitely is not a willpower problem. Stay with me because by the end of this video, I think you're going to see your body very differently than maybe you do right now. Before we get into it, let me tell you a little bit about who I am and why I'm here. My name is Jessica Southern. I'm a registered nurse with over 15 years of experience, and I'm also a certified integrative health practitioner. But really, more than my titles, I'm a woman who has sat exactly where you might be sitting right now, exhausted, frustrated, and wondering why nothing is working. I started my wellness program, Imbalances Wellness, because I myself needed a wake-up call. Imbalances means an awakening, a new dawn, or waking up in Spanish. And that is exactly what this was for me. After my second son was born, I kept gaining weight instead of losing it. I was exhausted all the time. I was stressed. And then COVID hit, and I completely lost myself in the chaos of all of that. I looked up one day and really didn't recognize who I had become. That was my wake-up moment. I got certified as an integrative health practitioner, and as I went through that training, something incredible happened. I started healing myself, and I saw firsthand what looking at root causes instead of just the symptoms could do. And I knew I wanted to bring this to other women. And then my own life gave me a very personal lesson in exactly that. And this is happening right now. I'm being very honest with you that I am currently navigating one of the hardest seasons of my life. I just finalized my divorce in April, and for 2 years leading up to that, I was in a constant state of fight or flight. I was trying to hold my marriage together, then letting it go, then learning how to rebuild myself and my family, all while trying to raise my 2 boys, running a business. Needless to say, it was a lot. And in the middle of all that, I turned back to some of the old coping habits that I've had throughout my life that have helped get me through hard times before. One of those being emotional eating. It came back. The weight I had lost came back, and my energy crashed again. For 2 years, I was really white knuckling my way through life, and it's been only in the last few months, few weeks, that I've genuinely started to feel like myself again. And I'm sharing that with you because I want you to know that I'm not standing or sitting here in front of you as someone who has it all figured out. I am someone who is doing the work in real time right alongside you. And what I eventually learned through my training as an integrative health practitioner and through my own healing experiences is that really my body wasn't failing me. It was just responding to everything I was carrying, and that changed everything. That's really what this Imbalances Wellness is built on. Again, Imbalances means sunrise in Spanish, and this space is about new beginnings. It's really for women who are ready to stop fighting their bodies and start actually understanding them. So whether you've been struggling for months or for years, whether you're dealing with weight issues, hormones, exhaustion, gut issues, or just a feeling that something is off, you're in the right place. This channel is going to be a space where we go deeper than the surface and we figure out what your body is actually asking for. So let's get into today's topic because I have a feeling it's going to hit close to home for a lot of you. I just want to name something out loud that I kind of mentioned in my own story This cycle of losing and gaining the same weight is one of the most exhausting, demoralizing things a woman can experience. You lose 10 pounds, you gain 12 back. You start a new program, you're motivated, happy, and hopeful, and then life happens and you find yourself right back where you started, or even sometimes further back. And when this happens, what does the world usually tell you? Try harder, be more disciplined, find a better morning routine, want it more. But what if all that advice is really completely wrong? What if the harder you push, the more your body digs in and holds on out of survival? The women that I work with are not lazy. They are not unmotivated. They are tired. They are stressed. And they are going through things really in the wrong body environment. And that distinction matters more than almost anything else I could tell you today. So let's talk about what is actually going on when your body won't respond the way you expect it to. When you are under chronic stress, and I mean any kind of stress, work, relationships, emotional loads, or just trying to keep your life from falling apart day to day, your body goes into this protective state. It releases cortisol, which is your primary stress hormone, which then signals your body to store fat and hold on to fat. Not because your body's broken, because it's doing exactly what it should be and trying to keep you safe. And here's something that a lot of people don't realize. Stress isn't just those things happening around you. It can also include a lot of internal stressors that you may not even be aware of. Things like gut imbalances, viral or bacterial infections, digestive dysfunction. Those are all stressors on your body, and it counts all of it. It all adds up to the same stress response, and your body responds the exact same way, regardless of the source. I see this kind of everywhere in friends, family, on social media, women who are doing so much, caring so much, and wondering why their bodies won't cooperate. Why can't I lose the weight? Why don't I feel better? And the answer is almost never that they need to be trying harder. It's that nobody has helped them look beneath the surface into what the body actually needs. Another contributing factor to all of this is sleep. Sleep deprivation kind of works the same way. When you're not sleeping well, those hormones that regulate hunger and fullness go completely out of balance. So you have more cravings, your energy tanks, your capacity to make choices drops. And again, none of this has anything to do with your character. And then the third thing is what I like to call the overwhelm trap. So when your nervous is activated, your nervous system is activated because of all of this stress, you go into this go, go, go mode and you get stuck in it. Your body is not prioritizing fat burning, it's prioritizing survival. And you cannot discipline your way out of a nervous system that is stuck in that stress response. Believe me, I've tried, it doesn't work. And really, the big thing with all of this is learning that most people don't need a more intense plan. They need a more sustainable one that doesn't require them to be a completely different person, a perfectly disciplined person, doing all of the new wellness things, starting over every morning. And I think that's the trap that we get into. I'm going to go into a little personal side of this because I think my story might reflect something maybe you've experienced as well. As I mentioned, I just finalized my divorce in April. But really, the stress response that I had started 2 years before that. The separation, the stress of separating, the stress of constantly trying to work on a marriage, the stress of fighting so hard to hold on to my family while also trying to hold myself together, was really full 2 years of doing that. And I was running completely on cortisol and in survival mode. I had my 2 boys, I was running my business, I was working as a nurse navigator, while my marriage was falling apart, and not a single moment of that did I have any peace. I was running completely on fumes. And during that season, I developed a habit that whenever I felt overwhelmed or really emotionally charged, I would have this like deep desire to go to the store, buy a bag of Cheetos, and I would eat the whole bag. Not because I was hungry, but because for a few minutes it made everything quiet down. It was relief, it was comfort, and it was the one thing I could give myself when everything else felt out of control. That is what emotional eating is. At the time, I thought that that was a weakness. I thought I just lacked discipline. But what I've learned to understand now with my training and my own healing is that emotional eating is not a character flaw. It is really your nervous system reaching for the fastest available way to regulate itself when it has nothing else to hold on to, which makes complete sense. And here's what really shifted for me. It wasn't another diet or a stricter rule set or a perfect morning routine. It was really learning to give myself permission to stop making food the enemy, to stop treating enjoyment like a crime. So recently, after doing this healing, I just bought a bag of Cheetos. I had some, put the bag away, came back to it over the next few days. I didn't finish it in one sitting. I didn't feel guilty about it. I didn't spiral. I just let myself enjoy it when I wasn't emotional and when I could actually enjoy it. This might sound like a very small thing, but for someone who has spent years either white knuckling her way through restriction or completely abandoning all of her intentions the moment that my emotions got high, this was really everything for me. This is what food freedom looks like. And it did not come from more willpower. It came from really healing. If you've ever felt like your body is the last thing you need to fix before your real life can begin or before you can be happy, I want you to know I completely understand that. And I also want you to know that there is another way through that. This took me a really long time to actually believe, but I do now, and I'm here to help you get there too. Before I keep going, I want to point you towards something free that I think you'll find useful. I created a short quiz called Why Does My Body Feel Off? And it's designed just to help you start identifying what actually might be going on beneath the surface for you. It's not a generic answer that you'll get, but a real personalized starting point of what might be going on underneath the surface. It takes about 2 minutes, completely free, and it's a really good first step if you're feeling like something is just off, but you don't know what it is. The link is in the description below, and I'll remind you again at the end of this video as well. So back to our topic. If discipline and restriction aren't the answer, then what is? It really starts with getting curious instead of critical. Your body is not your enemy. The fatigue, the weight that won't move, the cravings, the mood swings, those are not failures. It's simply information. These things are your body trying to tell you something. And so when we get curious and want to learn from that, we can really start to make changes. It really means kind of looking at that full picture, looking at your stress levels, your sleep quality, your nervous system, your gut health, your hormones, the load you're carrying emotionally, not just what you're eating and how much you're moving. That's not what wellness is about. It means building rhythms instead of chasing perfection, because really consistency over time beats intensity every single time. And the best plan is the one that you can actually sustain. Do the next best thing. This is my motto. This phrase has saved me in all aspects of my life, more times than I can count. Do not do the perfect thing. Do the next best thing. Not the thing you would have done, just the next best thing available to you right now, and that is always enough. This also, the work that needs to be done is really separating your worth from your weight, because you are allowed to want to feel better in your body and love yourself at the same time. Those two things are not in conflict. That tension is actually where healing lives. And here's what I want you to leave this video believing. If you get anything out of it, you're not lazy, you're not broken, you're not someone who just can't do this. You may be somebody whose body needs support, not punishment. Your body may need rest, not restriction. You need to start getting curious instead of criticizing. Healing does happen. It's slow and takes time, but it does happen. And I am living proof of that. And I have seen it happen for the women that I work with as well, again and again. Your body has been carrying a lot. And the goal isn't to force it into submission into these new routines. The goal is to create these conditions where it finally feels safe enough to let go, to heal, and work as it should be. And that is exactly what we're going to keep talking about on this channel. So stay tuned, subscribe, and I can't wait to see you in the next one.